You know those videos where the owner of a dog is like presenting two hands and then the dog has to pick one and then the dog picks a hand and then is presented with one treat and then the owner opens the other hand and there's like 95 treats and the dog's just like, well, you know, that's on me. I'm not going to eat those treats because I don't deserve it. I have never met a single dog that would not immediately eat part of that person's hand and every one of those treats. Where do they get these, like, English, well-prepared dogs? Dogs will run at 95 miles an hour into a plate glass door, but they are smart enough to understand the rules of gambling. They understand fairness in games. Where do they get these dogs? You know what? I lost, and that's on me. I'm gonna go eat my own ass. I love Steve Harrington's character. He's such a mom taking care of those kids. Didn't he... You're talking about Steve Harrington from Stranger Things? Yeah, duh. Isn't his whole character just like a manipulative, jealous, insecure, kind of a piece of shit? He was, but then he put in a little bit of effort to help some kids. And that's all forgiven. Didn't he help his douchebag friends write Nancy Wheeler's a slut on a movie theater or something like that? That was all in the past. That was like 30 years ago. Isn't he constantly trying to guilt trip Nancy anytime she gets more than 50 feet away from him and is trying to pressure her into being in a committed relationship with him? See, what you're overlooking is that he has nice hair and he's a handsome guy. If you are genuinely upset when people forget what your name is, you're such an idiot and I hate you so much. They didn't forget that you exist. They forgot the word, the stupid, dumb, small, tiny word that is associated with you. That's it. That's the extent of it. I haven't seen or heard a name that I couldn't see myself forgetting. My name, for example, Patrick, is garbage. I hate my name. It's the dorkiest, dumbest, stupid name in the history of the universe. I sound like a leprechaun. I'm so sorry. What is your name again? It's Patrick. I'm gonna stab you in the throat. It's mostly based on convenience. The only reason that we have names. If I yell across a room, hello, person, then everybody's gonna turn around. But if I say Patrick, then, hey, maybe the guy who's named Patrick is gonna turn around. It has nothing to do with your individuality. It's mostly just convenience. Why do you care? Why do you care? I want to know how long it took Hawkeye to make the decision about his hair and tattoos, you know, after his family's dead. And in the movie it says, oh, it's been 5 years. This is 5 years later. So we're sort of led to believe, oh, these are changes that he's made over those years. But I'm desperately hoping that it was like 40 seconds after the ashes have fallen in his farm. And he's like, all right, what's the number for that hair salon? Like he goes and breaks open his in case of my family being disintegrated kit, and inside is like a sword and like stencils for a tattoo he's been thinking about getting for a while, but his wife wouldn't let him get. The only way he was able to get her to agree was like to create some crazy circumstance that she was very sure would never happen. Like, honey, if you and the kids are ever disintegrated by Thanos, would I be allowed to get that tattoo? If you have ever told someone that they need to smile more, I hope 11 pianos fall on you. And not in a row, like over time throughout your life. Like you'll be in the full body cast from the first one, still in the hospital, weeks later, months later, through bouts of physical therapy where you're, you know, cheered on by your friends and you're finally able to walk again and you're leaving down those steps from the hospital and you're like, this is a new lease on life. And then another piano will fall on you. Getting up to piano number 5, scientists would probably start to study you because they have no idea where these pianos are coming from. They're just appearing above you and crushing you every single time. But they do know one thing. It's probably your fault. Decades later, they're keeping you in an experimental bunker to make sure you're safe from this 11th piano that's coming down the line. And the doctor puts his hand on your shoulder to console you, and you turn around, but it's not the doctor, it's a piano. Okay, so as new team leader, anyone who does not have a superpower, but instead some sort of stupid gimmick, will be given an Iron Man suit. That's kind of stupid. Hey Falcon, I'm glad that you know I was talking about you, even though I didn't say your name. Kind of says a lot, doesn't it? Okay, first of all, it's not a stupid gimmick, alright? I have wings, and I can fly. So can geese. I don't see any geese at this table. Other than you, maybe. I don't know if you're a goose. All right, that's really rude, and I think I'm gonna walk away now. You can fly away. You've mentioned that you can do that. That's really funny, man. See you, man. He's got to go anyway, probably. He's probably just looking for the opportunity to leave because he's got to fly south. I've got an idea for a new mythological entity. Shoot, go ahead. Okay, now buckle in, all right? He's called the Sandman. Is he like the Lord of Deserts or something? Good guess. He has the power to throw a handful of sand into someone's face and knock them unconscious. Is it magical sand? Presumably, yeah, I imagine so. I mean, I've never been hit in the face with sand, but it's never knocked me out. So I assume that his sand has some kind of special property that knocks you out. Like melatonin or something? It could be melatonin if you think about it. In Harry Potter, when Harry, in the last movie, goes to the train station with his kids and then puts his hand on one of the kids' shoulders and goes like, Albus Severus Potter. And I was like, oh, well, so he named his kids after people who were influential in his life. And then it started making me laugh because of the idea of him naming one of them Dobby. Dobby, you come back here right now. Not until you legally change my name. I named you after the bravest elf I ever knew. The bravest elf you ever knew had a stupid name. You could have named me shit and it would have been a better name. There's probably nothing on the planet that I hate more, and I say this a lot because I hate a lot of things, but there's nothing on the planet that I hate more than argument referees. I cannot be the only person who is like this. Some comment is going to be like, oh, you're not the only one. There's probably an insane asylum that has a person like this. But fucking, like, you'll be in the middle of an argument, and you'll just be hitting them with a barrage of amazing points, and then these idiots will show up and just be like, guys, come on, calm down, what are you doing? You were this close to killing each other. The world's overpopulated, what are you doing? No, but, you know, this was mean-spirited and it wasn't constructive and you guys were just yelling at each other about who's better between Kirby and Sonic and it's not important. It's like, you just cost the world a double homicide it sorely needs. Do you think it needs me and this fucking idiot wandering around? Okay, so when we get to school, we're going to interlock our arms and form a Roman shield wall so that we can all be in on the same conversation while we walk as slow as physically possible down the hallway. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be getting in the way of enough people. You're right. Well, what if we stood completely still in a circle that was the width of the entire hallway? That way no one could get past us and we could still have our stupid conversations about nothing. That's good. We should definitely do that every day for the rest of our lives. I mean, our conversations are way more important than anybody else's time. I love being a psychopath. Have you ever, introduced a friend of yours to a new piece of information or like a phrase they haven't heard before, and then later on you hear them use that, like bring it up in a different conversation, and they don't mention that you were the one who told them, and you for some reason are slightly bothered by that? Like, I feel like I've been plagiarized, but it's not like a quote that's attributed to me. It's just like the day on which Pearl Harbor happened, and them bringing it up is enough to make me feel like, they are plagiarizing me. I'm the god of knowledge, and they are merely my pupil. Why do you feel like you have a monopoly on little factoids that you happen to know and other people that you introduce to it don't know? You clearly didn't hear me when I said I was the god of knowledge. My favorite kind of customer is the one that assumes that while you're also a customer service representative, your main job is coming up with rules for the entire company. Excuse me, why did you tell my son to stop doing what he was doing? Oh, well, you see, we have a rule, and he's not allowed to eat the legs of chairs, so... But why is that? Why is he not allowed to? That's a, You know, honestly, I didn't think this would go this far. I thought that you would come upon the scene of your child working his way through the second leg of a chair, and then assume that I was in the right for telling him to stop. But I can see that you're both insane. I'm really enjoying all of the messages asking why I decided to join the Marines and what disease do you have that made you shave your head. I'm not in the military and I don't have anything like that. I just shaved my head because it's hot outside and I was tired of having long hair. But I'm glad you guys are treating it like I'm going to die tomorrow. And for those of you, all of you, who decided that they don't like this change, well, too bad. I'm allowed to be an egg if I want. And I know that people shaving their heads is a sign of them fucking losing their minds, but That ship kind of sailed years ago, so that's not even a worry. So, Tony, now that we're working together again, do you think I could get the shield back? What shield? What are you talking about? The shield that I've carried around since 1942? A shield. Oh, are you talking about the shield that my dad made, that I own, and that belongs to me, and is mine? Yeah. And that technically makes me Captain America because it's mine? That isn't... It's not Thor's hammer. You don't become Captain America when you hold it. You kind of become... John, I tell you, what do kids like? Snacks. No, you idiot. Kids like listening to other kids poorly sing the songs that they like. I've never met a single child that would say that. Well, you're just not hanging out with enough kids. Anyway, so let's call it Kids Bop and then go walk into the ocean. I stayed up way too late. Why don't you just stay awake all day and then go to bed at like 9 tonight? That's a risky fucking move. Do it anyway. I think I'm gonna do it anyway. This time, when we fight Thanos, we're pulling out all the stops. We're gonna be at full strength, alright? Hawkeye's gonna be there. Yeah, because if he was there the first time, then Thanos would have just started laughing, and in that moment of distraction, we would have gotten the upper hand.